Someone standing in the welfare line, or off the freeway with the hungry sign. Someone stressing about to lose their mind. I gotta be thankful.
That's right. For though by this time you ought to be teachers, you need someone to teach you again the first principles of the oracles of God, and you have come to need milk and not solid food. For everyone who partakes only of milk is unskilled in the word of righteousness, for he is a babe.
But strong meat belongeth to them that are of full age, even those who by reason of use have their senses exercised to discern both good and evil.
Reasons. Yeah.
Oh boy, who is that? You can get heat wave out of the Bible. I tell
you. See, you already starting out. Earth, wind, and fire,
Earth,
baby.
Wind, and Fire. That's right. I should have known. I'm thinking heat wave.
Welcome, everyone. You're listening to From Milk to Meat, a podcast for those with an appetite for
truth.
That's right.
Truth. The truth that it is Earth, Wind, and Fire singing reasons, not heat wave.
Correct.
That's all right. I'm getting old.
The truth that if you were a black man, you lose your...
exactly. I lose my brother card right there. But
exactly.
It's all right. We got no card with Christ.
Well, I want to thank everybody out there who's listening to us tonight.
Yes, sir.
It's a new year. We're coming to you live.
Yes,
from an undisclosed location.
Undisclosed, huh?
And our guy over here, Herbie Love, brought us together tonight and said, let's go. So we said, all right, let's go.
And we're supposed to let's go, huh?
Yeah.
I was on my way to the train.
My guy Meat over there says he's a gamer. So I said, are you ready? Are you ready? And he said, yeah, let's
tell the
go.
people that I just showed up, not knowing what's going on, not knowing the topic, nothing. All I got is Jesus and me. And that's all I need.
That's all you
baby.
need.
That's all I need. So let's get it handled. Let's plant some seeds.
All right, so why don't we start our show like we always do in honor of our guy, Johnny Lang. Let's tell the good people at home what you're thankful for.
Oh, my goodness. What am I thankful for? Well, today I'm just thankful for work. It's been a time where
That's a good
I
thing.
was out of work and, I had a job to come back to. This is that time of year where, sometimes your people are off work or on vacation, but I was able to get up and it was hard. And I had to tell myself, be thankful, because it was hard to get up and go back to work. And
to
exactly.
life,
and that's my man Milk over there trying to get a little soul to soul.
Oh, so you know soul to soul, but you don't know Earth, Wind, and Fire. So I should apologize, even though it's a new year. I should apologize to all of you listening at home, in your cars, wherever you may be. We're out with our cool sound effect music stuff tonight.
Oh, the board went down. This is called doing podcasts on a budget.
That's
how we make it work. We make it work. So don't even worry about it.
So some of you are probably like, good. I don't like all those little crazy sounds you guys play anyway. But
the people have spoken.
The people have spoken.
Because
and
this
they
is
said,
show.
Are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained? That is. So we just got to say what we're talking about right now.
Yeah,
so that is Russell Crowe from The Gladiator.
For people who don't know, great movies.
Huh? He was, what was his?
Maximus.
That's right. Maximus Aurelius.
Maximus.
Oh, no. Was it Aurelius?
Maximus something-mus.
It was Maximus something. I got you. No, I'm sorry. I got you sidetracked. But
All
no,
right.
tell the people what you are thankful for today.
Well, I mean, this is going to sound very Captain Obvious, but truly I feel thankful that I feel like I have a new energy right now in regards to this podcast and what we're trying to do. I just feel excited. It's a new year, and I feel like this has been a long work in progress for us. And
for all those that don't know, Milk is a trainer, so it is naturally in him. But no, that is a good thing to have.
So I just feel excited of what this new year might bring. What God has in store for us.
Yes, sir.
Hopefully good.
2020, baby.
But so I really am I just feel renewed, and it might be because I got some time to be away and
got to hang out with the family a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
We need a Barbara Walters. This is 2020. Because this is 2020. I watched her every now and then.
Every now and then.
Yeah, when I was able to stay up that late.
All right.
So
before we get into things today, we don't have like I said, we don't have any this was where we would play like some game show music or something. Because
Game show.
I got a like a fun question for you.
Oh, you got something
that I want that I just want it to be a quick hit answer
Milk,
to
we're
me.
so talented and we're so entertaining that we don't need
Okay.
little drops and music and stuff.
Are
to
you
bring
not
us-
entertained?
Absolutely.
So here's the thing.
just lay it on me.
You are a father.
I am.
You have
5 times over.
That's right. The quill is full. The quiver is full.
Quiver,
is
exactly.
full.
That's right.
You have 3 daughters
That's right.
and 2 sons.
That's right.
So I want you to just think about your daughters right now when I ask you this question.
Oh, okay. They're the best. Daughters are cool.
So you have one daughter, or do you have 2 in their 20s?
yes, 2 of them in their 20s.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm not going to ask you their birthdays, and I'm not going to put you on
one's
blast
23
like that.
and one's 21. You know, because I don't know.
But
right?
here's what I want to know. Here's what I want to know.
Okay.
Because I was thinking about this the other day, and the answer came right away for me.
That's another question.
Who
knows their kids' birthdays?
If you had to choose one man from the Bible
One man for the Bible.
to marry your eldest daughter,
Whoa.
who would you choose?
One man from the Bible to marry my eldest
Who
daughter.
would you choose? 5 seconds.
Oh, my
4,
goodness. That's pretty
3,
good. You can't count. That makes me nervous,
2.
man. You can't count
Come
anymore.
on, knee jerk.
Oh,
Mine
my
was
goodness. Isaiah, baby.
Isaiah. Okay, why did you say Isaiah? Just a couple sentences.
Isaiah, because he was a man of God, so he loved the Lord.
Okay.
And then he wasn't no punk either. So he was going to go out and do what he had to do to take care of business, his wife, his home. And he could listen to God. He knew what God's plans was, and he wasn't no punk to deliver him. No matter who it was.
Okay.
So sometimes, my daughter may have needed to get put in her place or whatnot. She got a little squirrely or whatnot. And Isaiah would have been like, hey, sweetie, in the right way. Oh, I can't say sweetie nowadays. It's like politically incorrect. Oh, my goodness. I'm showing my age right now, right? So
you can say it to your daughter.
Okay.
Okay.
Isaiah.
So, interesting. Now, I'm wondering if you're going to laugh or think.
Oh, I can't wait
this
to hear
is
this
exactly, because mine was instantaneous.
Like I said, I
you
got
wanna-
off the train
do you
and
wanna-
I came straight here.
Do you want to guess who I picked?
For you, it would probably be Peter.
No.
Oh, no, James.
No.
No. Wow.
I picked Job.
Ja-
And you know why I picked Job? Because, dude, marriage is hard. And I said, poor Job suffered and didn't even know why he was suffering, because God was making deals behind his back, and he just still, through all that suffering, stayed faithful, man. And I'm
And
just
then,
like,
hold on. It was so funny because someone asked me today about Job, and they said, can you believe his wife just told him to curse God and die? I said, isn't it funny she ain't mentioned much at the end of that story? I was like, what happened? What happened to her, man? So you Bible scholars out there, please come talk to me and let me know what happened to Job's woman.
And for you mothers and fathers out there, I'm curious to know who you guys would choose to marry your daughters, because oh,
that's why it should be how do you say it, twittering or
tweeting?
tweeting?
I don't know.
Tweeting us in or whatnot.
Tweet.
We'll get better.
Tweet,
you can tell we're of the generation of the 80s. We watched Voltron before we went to school, stuff like that.
All right. So we have
man.
one
I like
Isaiah and we have one Job.
Exactly. That was a good one, man.
All right.
That was a good one.
So again, you're listening to From Milk to Meat. I'm Milk.
And
it's my guy Meat over there. We are a podcast for those
with an appetite for truth.
That is right. We are not of the cloth.
No, we are not. But
we're two dudes not in suits.
But we have lived enough life with Christ to understand that, there's some. Oh, see, I got deep on you. I'm sorry. I'll bring it back up a little bit. I'm just saying we walked a lot. We walk with Christ, and so we try to let him guide our lives and make sure that we honor him, and that's why we're here.
Yes. And it's been a journey for us.
Yes.
And
a good one.
Yes, a good one.
Good.
Here's what I want to ask you, though.
Mm-hmm.
We're both fathers, as we talked about who we'd want our daughters to marry.
I really don't want nobody marrying my daughter. I'm biased like that, but, I know it's going to happen.
But here's the thing. The relationship a father has with his child is very important.
Special.
And I tell my kids, I say, you guys have 2 fathers. you have
Why you
a heavenly
messing 'em up
you
like
have
that?
a heavenly father.
Okay.
This guy.
Yeah.
See? And you have
Did they
dad,
grow up in the hood or something?
dad who is your earthly father,
All right, let me bring it back. Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
right?
Okay.
You're with me so far.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. And so a lot of how men of God try to parent, as we are called to be stewards of his children, right? Because our children belong to him. He has just entrusted us to raise them.
Yes.
So a lot of how we raise our children come from his cue, right?
Yeah.
Of how he raises us. So I overheard you earlier having to talk some sense into some people in your household
Exactly.
before the show went live.
Yeah.
Just so you guys know, we're real people with
We're-
real problems.
Oh my goodness.
The lights are on, so we're okay there. But my
Oh,
guy
my
over there
goodness.
was having to exercise a little parental authority.
Authority. That's a good word. We both were saying authority at the same time. That's right.
So what I want to ask you is, when you were growing up, I remember you telling me a story of one time your dad actually came to the school unexpected, out of the blue,
that is so funny.
and like pulled
he
you
go
out of
to
class.
jail now.
Pulled you out of class, and like you got in trouble for something, right?
That's what's wrong with me right now. That's why I needed Jesus. He was messing with me.
Okay.
See?
So, growing up, did you fear your dad?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay.
Absolutely. Now, there's two types of fear, though. I feared him in every way. I feared him in both ways. Awe fear and he gonna kill me fear. Well, I guess that's the same. Awe and coming down hard on you.
Okay.
You know, like yeah, he can take me out.
So
Yeah, that's the same.
we're basically telling people we're old
Actually-
enough. We're the generation that got spanked still.
Yeah, exactly. I was
Okay.
about to say. So
Yeah.
is that where you're getting to?
So no, it's not actually.
Okay. Gotcha.
But I also feared my father.
Mm-hmm.
Now here's the other thing. If I were to ask you,
Okay.
are you friends with your kids? Because I was not friends with my father growing up.
Right now,
Were you?
or
were you-
even at any point in time?
when they were growing up?
No.
You're their father, not their
Yeah.
friend. Okay. So
You want to know a line that I've told my kids many a time? They probably could finish it if they
is
were right here.
Is it
No.
is it safer podcast?
Yeah, it is podcast. It's very podcast. Like I said,
Okay.
I would never say anything that they couldn't repeat in public because
Okay.
I don't, degrade
Okay.
them in that sense.
Sure.
But my kids would be able to finish the line. I got friends. I don't need no more. If I want to hang out with somebody, I go name A, name B, name C. I ain't your friend. So,
I'm
and
your
they
father.
finish that. Yeah,
Right.
they're like, I know that daddy is not here to be my friend.
Okay.
Yeah.
And would you say that in today's climate of parenting,
Oh, it's too much friend.
a lot
friendliness.
of parents so
I'll say it like this: lines are blurred.
I'm going to have a little. I wish we had the confession session. He's like, sorry.
So sorry.
I have caught myself recently referring to my son as
Buddy.
pal
Oh,
or
okay.
bud. What's up,
You know
bud,
what?
or pal? And but I think my dad never ever called me buddy or pal
Yeah.
or big
kinda-
guy.
Oh, really?
Okay.
I can see big guy, not buddy.
So here's kind of where I'm going with this in my own special way.
Exactly.
You know,
That's
if we had to stay on target, it's like,
Exactly.
where are you going with this? So we know that God wears many hats. He's the lion and the lamb,
Mm-hmm.
right? He is our father, but is he our friend? So we are a child. We are God's children,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I think of the hymn, "What a friend we have in Jesus."
And that's where I was going. The
Okay.
scripture says, he says, go ahead. I don't
So-
want to cut you off.
In my struggle of my relationship
Mhm.
with Christ, he is the father that is not my friend.
Okay.
And I'm wondering, I don't know how to be friends with Jesus
Ooh.
because I never looked at my father as a friend.
Yeah, I get you.
So it's like this. If I go to make a decision in life,
Mm-hmm.
you are my friend. I am not worried about, I can talk to you about those decisions and not worry about any repercussions you may bring to me.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas my father might say, that's a bad decision, and now there's consequences for your bad decisions. So as an adult who's 47 years old this month.
Wow, you just put your age out there?
I know, this month. Man, I look good for 47, though. This month.
We're still working on that vanity thing with milk. But,
Thank you, Jesus. I'm not sure that I consider Jesus my friend. I look at him as my father who I do not want to mess up around and do the right thing around, but I don't know how to walk beside him, I guess.
It's
my question to you.
Very good point. Very good point. If you don't mind me jumping in, because when I think everybody should coach. Everybody should be a coach of a youth team. You know, we spent a lot of years in this entertainment industry, and I stepped away and went to the it was actually you who kind of was like, man, you always talk about coaching, because most people who know me know I love basketball. And so I was like, you know what? This is a chance for me to step out and do something. So I went and engaged in coaching and teaching in the public school system. Oh, Lord have mercy. So that's a topic for another day. So as I was there, teaching, I got to get involved with these youngsters and whatnot, and I learned a lot about me, and they taught me a lot about me. That's all I learned. I learned a lot, and there is what you were talking about here is so true, because there is a progression to the relationship, and that's what I remember when I first started coaching. I came in, I was like, I want him to kind of be my buddy, kind of to be like, he's the cool coach. That you start off there, you'll never get them back. You need to let it be known, especially in the classroom. You need to let it be known right off the top. There's a line here. There is a separation of who I am and who you are. And guess what? You don't get to do or say whatever you want to do in this class or whatnot.
Which is how I parent.
Respect. Exactly. It is not only because you'll see those teachers like me after my first year that are sitting there almost crying at the end of the day, like, why won't they listen to me? What's wrong? You know why? Because you became their friend. Once the child, and with the basketball, with me coaching, same thing. I got to try to get these kids to do something that they don't want to do in the classroom and on the court. Everybody wants to be the Michael Jordan, but nobody want to work hard to be it, right? So I got to get these kids to run. I got to get these kids to jump. I got to get these kids to exercise their bodies and get them in shape. So my way of try to be friends first and then get them to do it. And then, they like me, so they'll try to do it. Yeah, that didn't work too well. Nowadays, of course, teaching is a little different in the generations and stuff like that. But I had to let them know, bingo, hey, this is how we're going to work. And so I came in, and it was like I scrubbed that whole way of being friend first. Then I turned it around and finally realized, hey, this is the way it's going to be. I laid out guidelines.
Okay, I got to
stop
you.
Okay.
Because I understand what you're saying, and I understand the analogy you're trying to make.
Do you?
But this is why I want to stop you, because you don't have this problem as a parent. You're talking about this problem as a teacher.
Well,
I'm guessing as a parent, you never had this problem with your own children.
Because guess why? It's still an issue of authority. That's the key issue.
Okay.
Authority has to be acknowledged and respected. It's the parent's fault. It's the teacher's fault. It's the coach's fault when they hand over authority trying to be friend. Because what happens is when you get to that point where you got to teach, they're not willing to learn or listen, because guess what? You and me are on the same level.
Right.
So what happens is, and I'm going to get back to where I was saying, the progression, when you let them know, hey, listen, There's an authoritative figure in there, because a kid's job is to test. Your children are testing you every day.
Sure.
How far can I get?
Sure.
So when they get there, they're like, all right, what can I do? What can I get away with? So when kids start to understand, okay, I can do this, I can't do that, or I can do this and I can't do that, and they understand the rules, and they start to mature to understand what about the rules, now the relationship starts to change. Remember, I said there's progression in the relationship.
Right.
So that progression starts to change. Their relationship starts to change. They start to get mature. As long as kids rebel and keep trying to do against everything you're trying to tell them, they're not growing up. They're not getting mature. So they got to be taught in that way. And I always told my kids, I'm like, listen, I'm going to discipline you, but then you're going to get to a certain age where the law has to discipline you. So grow up and understand why I discipline you, why I teach you, why I'm hard on you, why I want you to do these things, why you think I'm hard on you, because I'm really not.
Okay, so.
And you talked about my older daughters and whatnot. They got to that point really fast where people don't think it's possible. But when you can have kids in high school that understand, I'm doing good in school because I'm trying to do this. You can have kids come up with even the conclusion, I do this because I want to honor my father.
Sure.
I do this because I want to honor God. And people are like, what? You can't have kids. Kids are kids.
There's people who do that. I do this because I'm afraid of getting in trouble.
A lot of times it starts off like that.
Sure.
I was afraid of the belt.
Sure.
It was a great deterrent.
That's two of us.
Okay. But psychology today says that if you use a belt, it'll make that kid violent. I've never been violent to another human being a day in my life. And and I was about to say his name. He whooped the dickens out of me, man. I can remember he was like a Ginsu knife.
Okay. Stay on target.
Exactly. I'm sorry.
So
I'm not kind of getting at it.
With you.
And you said something about friend, calling Christ friend.
My issue is not, or I shouldn't say my issue. My question is not necessarily the authority of God as my father.
Yeah.
I'm asking you as the child.
Okay.
How?
Thank you, Milk, for giving me right back.
I am afraid of God.
Mm-hmm.
And whether I can justify that by Proverbs or I can justify that by I'm afraid to go to hell, I am afraid of God.
Mm-hmm.
However, because that fear is so strong and because I grew up with such fear of my worldly, earthly father, I don't know how to walk as a friend with
because
God.
That is a misplaced emotion. It's come from, you actually said the origin of where it came from. You haven't embraced a full, and I know you, so I know you try to get it and whatnot, but you haven't embraced a full counsel of the word of God. In John 15, where he's walking with them, in verse 14 to be exactly, or actually 13, I'll start at 13. Greater love has no one than this, that someone lay down his life for his friends. You are my friends if you do what I command you. No longer do I call you servants, for the servant does not know what his master is doing. But I have called you friends, for all that I have heard from my Father I have made known to you. That's what I'm talking about, the progression of the relationship. You understand why he had to come and die. You understand why he's hard on you. No longer do you have to be be obedient because of fear. That's there. Daddy can still come wipe us out.
Right.
But when you grow in the relationship with Christ, guess what? You start wanting to do, and that's what, and as a Duke fan and as a basketball fan, you used to tell me, you're like, dude, can you get those kids to run through a wall for you? When they know, I forgot his name. CJ Maxwell, the book from Maxwell. Kids don't care what you know until they know that you care. Or kids don't care what you know until they know that you care. And that's the whole thing. Christ has been showing us time and time and time again that he cares for us. And you can continue to be stubborn and reject it. But when you get to the point where you accept his care, you start to now embrace it. Now you're no longer children of disobedience. You're children of obedience. And you can see that now I have this place. So I can call him friend.
So I'm thinking right now there's a song, and I wish I knew who's there's a lyric though that says,
what a friend we have in Jesus.
No, I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God.
Absolutely. That's a great line. That must be an old Methodist song.
No, that's some praise, some
Oh,
kind of.
okay, that's that new stuff, huh?
Yeah,
I'm down with the new stuff. I could only imagine. I'm still down with it. But yeah, that's what I was going a long way around to show that the relationship has to progress. And once you do progress, now, because that's what I'm saying, you're supposed to be a friend with your children when they're older. You
When
can
they're
even
adults.
talk to my kids. I love it now, especially the ones that are getting out of college. I can actually talk to them about things of Christ, and they can kind of like, whoa, man, they're there because they have put the time in, the work equity to say, hey, this is, it's like they come to the table. I got the old Southern folks in my family, and they're like, how you going to talk to me about something? You only live 14, 15 years on this earth. You don't know enough. And, so kids who walk with Christ for a long time, now they learn stuff. They know they can give input into the conversation. But as long as you stay ignorant or as long as you stay immature, unfortunately, that's what From Milk to Meat is. We got immature saints that are older and they still have not matured to the point of understanding what discipline is for.
Okay, so let me ask you this: and this is, we're called from milk to meat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm milk, you're meat.
Yeah,
And, it's a role,
exactly.
right?
Yeah.
But truly, this is a time where I would say I am milk
Mm-hmm.
and you are meat.
No.
And this is why, because I want to ask you,
Okay.
what does it, I'm guessing
Mm-hmm.
you consider Jesus your friend.
Absolutely.
So what does that feel like?
I said to a friend
Because
of mine,
I don't know what that
I-
feels like.
I told a friend of mine that one day, and he said, man, I said, you know what? I was going through a time period in my life, and I said, man, I let down Christ, man. I let him down, and I'm like, and we have such a beautiful relationship. He said, man, I ain't never heard it like that. You got a relationship with Christ? That's what it's like. It's like, I don't care. You always say I'm kind of private, guarded, and whatnot.
Right.
And sometimes it is true because I don't care about, sometimes I don't care about certain relationships because I'm like, I'm cool. I got Christ. But Christ will tell me you can't, my relationship with him will say, you can't be like that to that person.
Right.
You need to go care for that person.
Right, okay, but so
What does that feel like?
no. So because I understand my relationship with him, he convicts me when I need to be convicted
All day long.
as a good friend, as you would convict me as well, right?
Uh-huh.
Of something.
Yeah, vanity. Uh-huh. No, no, I'm just messing with it.
Just because I'm 2 out of the 3. I'm dark and handsome, and you're just tall.
I'm
Well,
just tall.
You're dark too, I guess. But I don't know what it. I guess I don't know that. I hang out with you and I
Yeah.
have fun. You're my
Uh-huh.
friend.
Yeah.
I don't know what that feels like to have fun with Christ.
It's that role of, this is why it's so funny because we're coming
Is that the Methodist in me that sat with my,
We're coming
my hands
full
in my
circle.
pants
We're coming
and not
full
allowed
circle
to praise and put my
because
hands up in the air?
when we
or-
first started, you made a statement. You said the role of a father is important.
Yes.
Okay. Your kids, I'm pretty sure, knowing you and the listening public doesn't know, but knowing some of your backstory, your kids are going to be a whole lot more relaxed to have a relationship with you and with Christ.
Yes.
Because that is the one that you have shown how to have a positive relationship. That's what that's the problem with half of our society right now. We're trying to do away with roles, one, and we're trying to do away with father-mother relationships. Oh, you don't need a father and a mother. Man,
Well, we need some Danger Zone music.
Exactly.
Now.
I'm sorry. I'm
Get us in
trying.
trouble.
I'm walking on the wild
Yeah.
side. But I only say that not to start an argument, but to say that it is very important, because you start to now teach your children what a awesome relationship between an authority figure and a submissive of a person that is under that authority, what it can be like. And then now it starts to become a beautiful thing, and that now you can be a friend. Because fear is, God doesn't want us in a relationship where we fear everything we do, in the sense that I make a mistake, I'm about to die. No, he doesn't want that. He wants us to, he says, his word says, come and let's reason together. And we know that, I know that when I go to reason with God, I ain't bringing much to the table. He got all the reasoning skills, but he says he's willing to come and reason with me.
So would you say our relationship we have with our earthly fathers have an impact on the relationship we have with our heavenly Father?
Extreme. And I feel sorry, man, when I see my wife came from a broken home. Some of my best friends have come from broken homes, and when I see
I've come from a broken home.
when I see that, I say, man, and it's funny because the one thing that is always lacking in those relationships, it's an unscientific, test that I see,
a father.
But no, it's security. Most people always have trouble with security. That's what we're talking about here. It's the security of the relationship to be a friend with Christ. That's the bottom line. It's like you can't just rest because your first line of security was taken away at such a young age, or whenever that. Even when people split up or come from a broken home at the age of 30 or 40 years old, it still affects the kids in a certain way. They might say, "Oh, mom and daddy never liked each other." It still affects them. I go to my grave believing it. People can lie and say all they want to about, "Oh, it's all right, they're grown, I want to see them do." No. If God say divorce is violent, if God says it's a tearing asunder, it's two fleshes ripping, then I got to roll with him on that one. So you got to understand, if God says stay together so that you would raise goodly children, I got to roll with him on that.
Right.
And so that's who's going to get affected, the children. And people, I know, we're going to get the calls and well, you would advise them to stay in a violent home. We'll talk about that off the radio or off the podcast. There are different situations. There are safety issues and all of that. I get it. But I'm just telling you the effects.
Right.
And the effects are damaging. They're long ranging.
Yeah, I guess it's just, for me, it's just interesting because it makes, I don't know if it makes me feel bad about my walk or where I am, but I think to myself, like, I was at church this weekend and I was just thinking, like, man, every decision I make, there's in the back of my mind the same as my earthly father.
As it should.
Am I going to get in trouble for this?
Well, I think it's the issue.
Like, I feel like I was always walking on eggshells.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, does that ever go away with Christ of, is this a decision that pleases the Lord? Is this a decision that pleases the adversary?
Let me put you at ease.
When do I can ever walk as a friend with him if I'm always nervous?
Let me put you at
that?
ease. Since you've been saved, have you made mistakes?
Yes.
Okay. Has he wiped
Thank
you
you,
out?
Jesus, for the cross.
That's what I'm saying. Has he wiped you out?
Yes. And I know there's nothing he can't wipe out.
Exactly.
Or as many as he can't wipe out.
But has he taken you off the face of the earth?
I
No.
also know, as a father, that...
Yeah. And some mistakes are more costly than others. That's a little different, so that gets back into our old shows as, is a sin a sin a sin a sin? No, because if a sin was just a regular sin, just to touch on it just a little bit, if a sin was just a regular sin, then it would be the same penalty for that. That's, the penalties wouldn't be different if a sin was just a sin. So it kind of gets into the
There are right. I understand what you're saying. The penalties,
Yeah.
it's just like
And
with
so
your
he-
own children, the
Yeah.
penalties of what
Absolutely.
you may or may
And
not
he hasn't
do.
wiped you out.
Yeah. He hasn't wiped. He's so good to me.
He's
Look
so
at that,
good.
right on cue. Look at Herbie Love over there bringing in the music at the right time.
He is good. He is good.
Oh my goodness. Well,
That was a good discussion, man. We
you
need
guys know that's our
I know I
music
could get-
cue that says it's time to go, guys.
Yeah, I know I could get long-winded, but that was a good discussion, man. I hope I didn't bore the listening folks out there.
Isaiah, huh? Isaiah.
Yes, Job.
Yeah. So I might like catch you off guard right now. We always like to end the show with some words of wisdom or
Something to chew on,
questions, something to chew on, as we like to say.
Uh-huh.
And I was reading some stuff the other day, and I came across a quote from Corey Ten Boom.
Oh, the hiding place or the secret place.
See, yes, another book probably I need to read, right? Here's the quote, though. You can never learn that Christ is all you need until Christ is all you have.
That's real. That's real. That's real.
Until next time, chew on that.
I got love, joy, peace, and righteousness in the Holy Spirit.